So I'm not going to lie to you guys. This whole living in an RV in a rural part of Texas has been kind of a struggle. Mostly because you're very limited in your internet choices. Kind of forgot to record this when I was making the video, but because I know the comment section is going to be full of this, no, Starlink is not available in my area yet. Yes, I pre-ordered. Nobody in my area has gotten it yet. I'm waiting just like everybody else. So please do not leave Starlink in the comment section. Also hail Elon Musk and Dogecoin and all that good stuff. If you want satellite internet, that's going to cost you $90 a month for 25 down. Are you kidding me? So yeah, no, that wasn't going to work for me. So what I ended up doing was actually turning a Raspberry Pi into a bonding router that would be able to combine multiple 5G hotspots for multiple networks into one internet source, essentially combining the speeds. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Well, isn't that just load balancing? Couldn't you just buy a load balancing router? Well, no. I realize I'm not explaining this properly, and to be completely fair here, I am very stupid. So here's a quick drawing on how bonding internet works. Now for this video, I'm going to show you how to build a bonding router using a simple Raspberry Pi 4. Now, I recommend the Raspberry Pi 4 because of that USB 3.0 interface and that Gigabit Ethernet connect. Sorry. Now I gotta stop. Why do I keep hitting my microphone with the Pi? USB 3.0 interface. Okay, I'm gonna just put that down. Now in the first part of the video, I'm gonna be showing you how to create a very budget-friendly bonding router here. Probably using your phone's hotspot and your landline and combining them into one super fast connection. In the second part of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to build one of these. Now, the first thing you're going to want is Raspberry Pi 4, obviously. I went with the 8GB model because I plan on running Pi-hole and media server on the Pi itself, so it's going to be handling multiple tasks. And you're also going to want a micro SD card with Raspberry Pi OS already installed. Now on top of Pi-hole and the media server software, we're also going to be running a program called Speedify, which is the VPN and bonding software that we're going to be using with the Raspberry Pi. And the cool thing about it is that with this cell phone, I can just go ahead and connect the USB to the Raspberry Pi, and it'll automatically add that connection to the already existing connections. So it's a plug-and-play solution, which I feel is worth the subscription cost. Now, on top of my phone's data, I also have my Inseego M2100 5G hotspot from T-Mobile. That is on a $50 100GB a month plan. And I also have my Nighthawk 5G hotspot from AT&T, also $50-ish 100GB plan monthly. Now with this setup, you could probably set up a DSL or satellite internet with 4G LTE failover using your cell phone's data plan, which is it's a pretty decent setup if you're looking for reliability. But with everything that we're going to need hooked up, let's go ahead and open up Raspberry Pi OS and get everything we need downloaded. Now the first thing you're going to want to run is sudo apt update. Now, I'm not going to do it because I just did it and I'm fine, so I don't need to do it again. But the next thing you want to do after that, once you're done updating, is run this command, wget-q0-https :// and then doing one of these. I forgot what it's called. It's like 9 in the morning and I haven't slept. Screw you. Sudo dash capital E bash space dash and and you just run that and it will install what you need for Speedify. Now, once you run that command, you should find Speedify here in the home screen, but also in the Internet tab. You can open up Speedify, and as you can see, I already have mine running. And once you do that, you turn it on, and you're good to go. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is a paid service, so to sign in, you would just go over here and sign in. And you got all these features. You can select what server you want. Like, for example, if you want to pretend like you're in another country or something. Now, my original plan for the over-the-top build was to take the USB hub that I had and just plug in a bunch of single USB to Ethernet adapters to it. However, looking through Amazon, I actually found a USB 3.0 to 4-port gigabit adapter with each of its ports having its own controller. So it was recognized as 4 separate gigabit ports, all of which operated at full speed, surprisingly. Now, it did get pretty hot, so I attached this dual CPU cooler fan that was actually meant for the Raspberry Pi that I just happen to have lying around. I got some double-sided sticky thermal pads and just put it under that, and it keeps it pretty cool. Now, I'm attaching a 5-port unmanaged network switch to the Raspberry Pi 4's Ethernet port, and the reason for that is because I plan on outputting the internet from that Ethernet port to the switch. That way I can share a wired connection with multiple devices. Now, to output the internet from the Ethernet port on the Raspberry Pi 4, you actually have to open up the Speedify configuration file, and you should be able to find that with sudo nano, and then you just go to the file path. If you're using a default configuration, then it's probably going to look something like this. And you want to make sure that down here you enable the share. You uncomment that to enable share, and then you add ETH0 to the share interface command, and you're going to want to uncomment that as well. Then you just Control X and save. And that is pretty much it. Now you have your internet connections outputting through your Raspberry Pi 4's Ethernet port. So if you attach that to an unmanaged switch, you should be able to share that internet connection with all of your wired devices. All right, now it's time to just build a tower. Now, since I'm using hotspots, a lot of my speed is going to be dependent on time of day, the congestion in my area, and things like that. But for me to do my job effectively, I need at least 50 down at all times, which, thanks to just the sheer amount of bonded connections I have, is completely doable no matter the time of day. Unfortunately, because of my location, I'm not really able to get those 5G speeds that are advertised. And instead, I'm stuck to around 20 to 25, maybe 30 per connection, which it by itself wouldn't be too bad. But if the congestion is bad on a certain network, then it can be pretty debilitating. Which is actually why I went with a diversified network using different hotspots from different providers. And since I've deployed this solution, I haven't had any disconnects from any phone calls. I haven't disconnected from my work server. I haven't had any significant slowdowns when I'm remotely connecting to a client's computer. It served me pretty well. And considering the sheer amount of money that I'm saving not having to pay rent, I think it's worth it. Even though I'm paying for multiple connections, the AT&T plan cost me $55 a month. The T-Mobile plan cost me $47. And the landline that I'm using just happens to be free. It's the one that I get here at the park. Plus my phone, which I don't really consider that an expense because I was already going to pay for unlimited data anyway for my phone plan, so it's not a big deal. So I don't really count it in my calculations. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this project, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.